breakdown on the image that is appearing, the picture that's coming into focus of the truck attacker yesterday adopting an Islamic jihad form of attack there in a very Islamic city of Toronto, and the fact that he has a Middle Eastern last name. But more and more, another picture is emerging, but it ties into everything we've already been breaking down and has the same similarities culturally that you see in Islam. So this is really intriguing. We've been researching and digging into this, and a very interesting picture is emerging. Coming up in the next segment, I'm going to get into that. We're printing some other articles and things right now. But we're going to be breaking that down. Now, first off, before we go there, I want to just mention to you all of the other insane news that I've absolutely got to cover today. We have Macron coming to the U.S. and a huge love fest with Trump. What does that really signify? Is it important? Macron is playing a double game, acting like a nationalist while still letting France be overrun by Islamicists. But he does have courage to come in the face of all the globalists and the leftists and be friends with Trump because he understands that Trump's winning and embrace Trump. Just like Kanye West is, they know the worm is turning. They know Trump is winning. Nationalism and populism is winning, not just here, but globally. We'll be looking at that. Also, Congressional Budget Office projects gross domestic product headed to a 15-year high. Great news on the economy. We're also going to be looking at the new Purge movie, the Purge prequel, where it's modern KKK is the U.S. military, and they're coming to kill the poor black people. More Hollywood race war narrative. We're going to be getting into that. Also, Pompeo confirmation advances after Rand Paul's reversal. Why did Rand Paul reverse? Because Pompeo has already made the incredible deal with the North Koreans, and because Pompeo came out and said the Iraq war was wrong, Afghanistan's wrong. Trump was right when he said that. I agree with the president, and I agree we need to exit out of these countries as soon as possible. And so Paul said, good. I mean, I like Pompeo in that he was a Freedom Caucus, pro-America, pro-gun, pro-family patriot. Does he have a little bit of a hawkish streak down his back? Yeah. Is he out to get the country? No. So that's a good thing that that's advancing. But Buchanan points out America's unsustainable empire and then goes over the statistics of what they're doing to our troops, everything else. Also, Tilford grooming scandal, former social services boss, local lawmakers expose as pedophiles. All over England, even in small towns, the town councils put Muslims in charge as CPS workers. Little kids start disappearing. They pop back up in London and other areas when they're 10, 13, 12, 13, 14 as sex slaves after they've been prepared. And it's turning out that the town councils are running these to make money and to enjoy themselves. It's a real pedophile cult. But notice they always spin it. Jones claimed there's a pedophile network worldwide. He claims Trump's going to go after it. We told you all that first. I told you that when Trump was running. I said that on Joe Rogan's podcast a year and 3 months ago. And all of it's come true. Tomorrow's news today. And it's why they're after us. We are fighting the global pedophile network. They're not all pedophiles, but they use pedophilia to compromise people, and you don't get in the club unless you do. I mean, we've all heard about the more elite a fraternity is. You know, it's not just have sex with a prostitute. It's not just have sex with a goat. It's have sex with the other members of the fraternity, the male members. And it's not even a homosexual thing. It's like in Team America. Because it's not about sex, Gary. Now get down there and do it. It's about dominance. It's about power. That's why it's such an accurate movie, No Way Out with Kevin Costner, and my favorite actor, Gene Hackman, when it just comes to acting. I love Charlton Heston, but Gene Hackman's the best. And that's how it all works. And it's like, you don't want to have sex with the man, then you're not in the club. And then once you do that, it's now you're going to have sex with a goat. We're going to videotape it. And it's about having you compromised. And then you get at the higher levels, and you're going to have sex with a 16-year-old girl. And they've had top bankers, globalists go public and break this down. And then you're going to have sex with a 13-year-old girl. You're like, I don't want to do that. I can't get aroused. Well, you're going to do it. Or you're not getting the banking contract. And then next, you're going to have sex with an 8-year-old boy. And then next, you're going to rape and strangle a 2-year-old baby girl. Now that's, and then, oh, that point, you're, Trump has not done any of that. Trump has never done anything. There's no dirt. He likes full-grown, 30-year-old, just over-the-top powerful women that intimidate most men. I've been around Melania Trump a few times, you know, just 2 feet away, and it's like the star power is like, she's intimidating. And I've never had a woman intimidate me. You know, when I was like 14 years old, I was sitting there licking my lips looking at the 30-year-old teacher. I mean, I'll just be honest. And I always like Trump, I like the full-grown, full horsepower women. These weird globalists, you know, like little girls. It's gross. But they want to steal the innocence. So you're getting the big secrets here. We're going to be breaking this down. And it's why they hate us so much. Because I'm not into kids. Trump's not into kids. And these people run the show. The British royal family, all of them. And how far you'll get compromised is how far you'll go. Again, every other criminal organization operates this way. Where you got to commit crimes. You got to finally kill an innocent person. Just to make sure you'll do it, and so you're compromised. You got to shoot the old lady. You got to shoot the liquor store owner. And the worse the cult, the worse the gang. They always had rules in Mexico and Latin America, don't kill kids. And, you know, the whole Tony Montana line, and the screenplay writer on that famously went to Latin America for years, you know, before he, and Cuba, before, and spent time there, Oliver Stone, 4 years writing that screenplay. Tony Montana says, no woman, no kids. And at the end of the movie, he gives it all up because he still has a conscience. He was only killing other drug dealers and other men at that point. He still had a chivalry. And he won't blow up the guy with the daughters in front of the UN building. And so he gets killed, but he keeps his honor. That is exactly how this is. No women, no kids. If you're not into hurting women and kids, you don't get the club. Well, now in Mexico, they have new cults that are about killing kids and killing the women. It's always one-upping, see? Even Latin America now kills women and children. 80% of the women coming across the border get raped by the coyotes. Decade ago, that wouldn't have happened. It's a plunge of evil worldwide as humanity loses its soul and as this satanic cult spreads its tentacles into every facet and every corner of the universe. When we come back, the real news that the enemy fears. I'm Alex Jones. What? One of the things I tell you, Harrison Smith is an amazing editor. Great job, Harrison, putting that together. And that's why they're after us. That's the truth. Because we give you deep analysis, historical information, and really expose what's at the heart of the situation. Now, I want to get into Alik Manassian and what has come into focus. Percent of these truck attacks, there's been hundreds in the last few years around the world, are Islamic. He has an Islamic-sounding last name. He's a foreigner. But he could have been a copycatter. We're still not 100% sure, but I think I'm entering. Usually I correct something about once a month. This will be 2 in one week. That it does not look like it's Islamic. But it's the very same background in the Middle East, the inbreeding that goes on. Statistically, you see higher crime rates, more homicide issues in the population. I talked about that earlier, but here's the big enchilada that the research team has uncovered, and it fits perfectly together and reminds me of this disgusting culture that is out there where these people call themselves involuntarily celibate. And they hate women because women don't like them. And so they say that they want to hurt them. Remember the Young Turks guy just a decade ago in his postings online said, I hate women. They don't like me. They're a bunch of sluts. They're a bunch of dumb idiots. That's a perfectly Islamic statement, even if he's a reprobate Muslim or whatever, Sink Young Turk, you know, Armenian genocide label. He is named after an Armenian genocide group, where he hates women, where he thinks they're stupid. He said their genetics are bad. Isn't that funny? Coming from the toad creature. But accused Toronto killer praised woman-hating mass murderer moments before attack. He expressed his support just moments before the attack for a mass murderer who became a hero of the fringe men's right movement. I love the media calls it a fringe men's rights movement. What, sullen little babies that didn't have a dad around and never got their ass kicked? I mean, these men, they're scared of women. I can't figure it out. I just love, love, love women. I hang around women. I don't really hang around guys. I just like women, period. The incel rebellion has already begun. Hey, how about you wimps, if you got to, and I'm not for prostitution, but I mean, do what you got to do, man up and go out and get a woman. Let me tell you, even if you're the weirdest nerd out there, if you just go to church, you're going to find nice ladies that are looking for a man. And, you know, a lot of these guys aren't even bad looking, but they're all into themselves. They're little video game narcissists, you know, all pale skin, living in the basement. And then they just can't stand it that women don't like them. Well, they don't have any confidence. I mean, it's a genetic thing. You're not supposed to breed, bro. I guess you're just such a wimp. I'm sorry, I'm just digressing. I didn't even know about the incel movement until I saw this a few years ago, and then I'd forgotten about it, and Zach was pointing it out to me. What a disgusting group of people. Guys, man up, man. Go out. And by the way, you don't have to get a supermodel. They're usually super boring and super only obsessed with themselves. Go out and just get you a girl who wants to have a good time. Take her out to movies or something. Jeez. The incel rebellion has already begun. We will overthrow all Chads and Stacys. All hail the supreme gentleman, Elliot Rodger. So it's the worship of this conceited, I'm not going to call him effeminate, but this metrosexual, put Elliot totally stupid, totally into himself, totally pissed off that he has this big image of himself, but he can't project any of it in the real world. If you weren't such a conceited, creepy person who purses his lips every time he talks, he just loves everything he says. He just loves everything he does. I mean, I look at somebody like that, and I want to break his nose. I'll just be honest with you. You look at the globalists, they all act exactly like that. Bunch of scum. Elliot Rodger killed 6 people during a 2014 shooting spree in Isla Vista, California, after planning his anti-woman revenge rampage for more than a year. The 22-year-old called himself an incel, or involuntarily celibate, a phrase invoked by men's rights activists who feel rejected by women. Rodger killed himself at the conclusion of the attack, leaving behind a 137-page manifesto that described how he felt shunned by women and sought revenge. He also reportedly showed an interest in Nazis and had conducted internet searches about how to silently kill with a knife. And now this new individual reportedly says he likes him. And he picked out people to run over. But see how that ties into Islam? Islam is a woman-hating religion where the women have to wear beekeeper suits and where women can't drive cars or have normal jobs and where their husbands can kill them, pour gasoline on them, drown them in the pool, or pour acid on their faces. And routinely, it's in the news all the time, kill their daughters because they didn't have their veil on and a man saw their face. And that's what the feminist movement thinks so great. But the feminist movement run by the globalists to control women is another side of oppressing women and controlling them. Because women in culture and in advertising are the prize that as Hitler said, first you get the women, then you got the children, so follow the men. And so you've got this incredible obsession and oppression that's going on, and the leftist women go, oh, look, this is a right-wing movement of men. No, it's a movement of scumbags. If you look at psychopaths, they almost always are the same way, don't have any friends, lived alone at home, didn't have a daddy around most of the time, and never got pushed out of the nest, and then never developed, and then feel so insecure, they project it on to people outside. So they start killing and torturing animals. Not for food, but just to kill them. And then they start killing women. Because that's how they finally capture them. It's how they think they dominate them. It's how they plant their flag on them. Instead of just growing with women into the future as a species. Because that's what women are looking for, even if they've been brainwashed and don't know what they're looking for.